to Top 10 Archive. As the moon rests over our heads in its fullest form, something mystical is happening elsewhere. Under this lunar cycle, magic is changing man to beast and setting loose a deadly creature known as a werewolf. When one thinks werewolf, they likely think of things like the Wolfman or the Howling. But there is a world of belief out there, and amongst it, werewolves and lycanthropy are as real as this YouTube channel. We're going to honor these beliefs by looking at the top 10 facts about lycanthropy and werewolves. Number 10. A Lycan can be more than a wolf. When it was first conceptualized, lycanthropy referred directly to man turning into wolf. Over time, like many things, the meaning has changed a bit, mostly referring to the transformation of man into any animal. So, when someone in Asia is talking about lycanthropy, they are likely discussing a man turning into a were-tiger. In Russia, lycanthropes will turn into bears or werebears. And in Africa, the animal of choice is the leopard. Number 9. Becoming a werewolf. The popular science behind becoming a werewolf has always been that the individual must be bitten by another werewolf, but that is far from the only means. Folklorist Carol Rose wrote in her book, Giants, Monsters, and Dragons, that a person can be irreversibly transformed by eating a mixture of wolf and human meat. Other means of becoming cursed include being conceived under a new moon, drinking water that has been touched by a wolf, and even sleeping under a full moon that falls on a Friday. Regardless of method, it is more widely believed that being a werewolf is more of a curse that can be passed on, rather than a virus. Number 8. Medical conditions linked to lycanthropy. For those who don't believe man can turn into beast, there are some medically sound reasonings behind the existence of lycanthropy. The physical appearance of looking like a wolf can be attributed to hypertrichosis, a condition during which long hair grows on a person's face and body. Couple this condition with porphyria, which is an extreme sensitivity to light, and you have yourself a wolfman-like creature roaming the streets at night. Lycanthropy is also designated as a mental condition in which a person believes themselves to transform into a wolf. While their physical form remains the same, their mental state becomes animalistic. Number 7. The earliest account of werewolves. These feral beasts have been around for quite some time, but few may know the earliest account of lycanthropy. According to Greek mythology, Lycaon, the king of Arcadia and son of Pelasgus and Melibea, was one of the first accounts of a werewolf. The story of Lycaon changes from source to source, but general consensus is that the king went up against Zeus, only to feel the great god's wrath after. The most popular version states that Lycaon tried to test Zeus' omniscience by feeding him human flesh as a guest of Epirus. When Zeus realized what Lycaon had done, he transformed the king into a wolf and slaughtered Lycaon's 50 sons. Another version, told by Pausanias, states that Lycaon had sacrificed a child on the altar of Zeus, leading to his transformation into wolf. Number 6. The Werewolf of Bedburg. In 1573 Bedburg, the term werewolf was being tossed around quite a bit. Throughout the German town, townsfolk and livestock were being murdered in the most gruesome and heinous of ways. Their bodies mauled, parts of their flesh eaten, and signs of rape present. It was believed that a madman had been set loose on the town, and that madman was Peter Stump. Stump was a well-known resident in the town, but it quickly came to light that he was responsible for the deaths of 13 children and 2 pregnant women. According to accounts of the trial and investigation, Stump believed himself to be imbued with the power to transform into a wolf through a magic belt. During his trial, and under the pain of torture, Stump confessed to sorcery and consorting with the devil, claiming truth to his werewolf form. Whether or not Stump was really a werewolf is a topic of debate, but the hunters that sought out Bedburg's killers claimed to have been hunting a wolf the night they caught Stump. Number 5. the first film about lycanthropy. Universal Studios' The Wolfman may have been the pinnacle of werewolf movies, but it was far from the first. 6 years prior, in 1935, Henry Hill portrayed a botanist that was bitten and turned into a werewolf in Universal's Werewolf of London. Even before the Bloodfest through London, though, there was another film centered around lycanthropy. In this 1913 film, an American Indian woman transforms into a wolf to exact revenge over her lover's death. Viewing the film these days is quite impossible, as it has disappeared completely. Number 4. Mercury may work better than silver. It's pretty common knowledge that the only way to kill a werewolf, at least via Hollywood's methods, is pure silver. If we ignore Hollywood and look back at lycanthrope lore, we're given a few more options to fend off these metamorphic beasts. It is believed that if a werewolf's heart or brain is removed and destroyed, it will keep the beast from regenerating, killing it indefinitely. A more natural method includes wolfsbane, a poisonous plant said to also repel lycans. It is also believed that mercury, more so than silver, is the best means of killing a werewolf. During the time when werewolf legends were written, mercury was known as quicksilver, which could have led to some translation issues as the legends were passed down. Number 3. The Beast of Gevaudan. Nevada, France doesn't have too much history to it, but there is one tale from the 1760s that shadows the historic area of the Lozère department. They call it the Beast of Gevaudan, a monstrosity responsible for at least 60 deaths. This was believed to be no ordinary beast. Locals believe that behind these deaths was a sorcerer that would transform into a werewolf. According to witness reports, the beast was roughly the size of a horse and resembles a hybrid of a panther, hyena, bear, and wolf. Researchers believe, thanks to conflicting testimonials, that there may have been multiple animals responsible for the deaths, but locals were adamant that the terror was a Lycan, and there is no clarity that any one claim matches the full description of a known animal. Number 2. The Hounds of God. Werewolves are portrayed as ruthless, bloodthirsty beasts, but that may not have always been the case. In 1692 Jurgenberg, Livonia, a man by the name of Thies of Kaltenbrunn made an incredulous claim while standing trial, stating that werewolves were, in fact, the Hounds of God. Thies explained that he and fellow Lycans transformed into their wolf forms on the nights of St. Lucia's Day, Pentecost, and St. John's Day each year to venture into hell to rescue the grain and livestock stolen by the devil and his cohorts. He had no clear indication as to how the transformation took place, not even mentioning God's will, a fact that angered the judges. Thies was flogged and banished for life for attempting to turn people away from Christianity with his godless claims. Number 1. The Werewolf Trials of France. Salem, Massachusetts has its witch trials, and 16th century France has its werewolf trials. During the period of 1520 and 1630, records show upwards of 30,000 individuals as being interrogated and tortured for being werewolves. Like the Salem witch trials, nobody was safe from being labeled a werewolf. Amongst the convicted were 2 French peasants, Pierre Burgot and Michel Verdun, a young boy and a tailor. In many instances, the accused were said to have been caught in wolf form, covered in blood from their latest victim, and fur from head to toe. Was it a craze of paranoia brought on by too many fictional tales? Or was there really a werewolf epidemic in the streets of France?